Strange signs rise in silence, and a subtle tension drifts through the night. Many sense a pull within, a shift that stirs old layers of thought and emotion. This moment is not random. It signals a turning point inside the mind, much like ancient masters once observed during rare celestial transitions. In Shaolin tradition, outer motion mirrors inner currents. When the moon enters a rare phase, it reflects patterns already forming inside each person. A shift in the sky becomes a shift in awareness. It presses you to pause, to settle, to look inward with clarity. During such periods, thoughts grow sharper, feelings surface quickly, and the inner voice grows stronger. These signals guide you toward alignment rather than distraction. Tonight, I will guide you through lesser-known insights tied to this lunar transition. You will learn why your inner world reacts so strongly, why silence feels heavier, and why a simple moment of stillness can unlock deeper strength. You will also hear truths rarely spoken, patterns ancient monks tracked during unusual lunar cycles, subtle reactions inside the body, and states of mind that rise only during intense energetic turning points. Stay with me until the final breath of this message. Each part builds upon the last, carrying you toward a calm, grounded understanding of this shift. By the end, you will hold a clearer sense of inner direction, steadiness, and presence. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe for more guidance rooted in timeless discipline and inner mastery. A moment arrives in every seeker's journey when the world feels louder, even though nothing outside has changed. This is the first sign of a deeper shift. Sensitivity sharpens. The air around you feels different. The silence inside you vibrates in a new way, and for many, this sensation appears suddenly, without warning, as if something within has awakened from a long sleep. In the Shaolin Temple, we are taught that this sensitivity is not a disturbance. It is a message. When the mind becomes still, the hidden layers of perception begin to rise. A monk learns to notice the faint tremors of energy that most people overlook, the subtle push of emotion beneath a calm face, the quiet tension held in a breath, the soft imbalance in one's steps. These observations are not supernatural, they are the natural abilities of a mind that is no longer distracted. During a symbolic shift, the body becomes a more honest instrument. You may feel a sudden awareness of your heartbeat, or a gentle pressure in the chest. You may sense the mood of a room before anyone speaks. You may feel the intentions of another person without needing explanation. This can seem strange at first, even overwhelming, but it is simply the inner world becoming more revealing. Such sensitivity is not weakness, it is clarity. The world has always carried these signals. You are only now beginning to hear them. When energy rises, the untrained mind reacts, but the disciplined mind observes. It softens, it listens, it moves with the change instead of resisting it. This heightened awareness is the doorway to self-mastery. It shows you that your deeper senses are waking, guiding you toward the next stage of your inner evolution. A wave of emotion that rises without warning is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something within you is finally ready to be seen. During a shift like this, the mind loosens the tight knots it kept hidden for years, and the heart begins releasing weight it no longer wants to carry. These sudden flashes, anger, sadness, longing, or even joy, arrive quickly, almost sharply, as if they push through a doorway that has just now opened. In Shaolin practice, we are taught that emotions are movements of energy. They are neither enemies nor mistakes. They are visitors passing through the inner courtyard. When one arrives, the training is simple. Do not chase it, do not resist it, do not label it, let it come, let it move, let it leave. This is the purity behind what many call strange emotional surges. When old memories surface, it is the mind cleansing itself. When the heart trembles, it is releasing what was never meant to be held forever. There is a quiet intelligence in this process. It knows exactly when to rise and when to fall. Your task is only to witness. During moments like these, the untrained mind reacts instantly. It argues, it defends, it becomes overwhelmed. But the disciplined mind, the mind shaped by breath, posture, and presence, remains steady. It watches the wave without becoming the wave. It recognizes that strong emotions do not define you, they reveal you. And so, when these sudden flashes appear, see them as an invitation to practice stillness in motion, an invitation to strengthen your inner balance, an invitation to refine your awareness. Each surge is a reminder that mastery is not achieved by suppressing emotion, but by meeting it with clarity, allowing it to pass through without disturbing the core of who you are. There are moments when the world around you grows a little too loud, and something inside you whispers, "Step back." This isn't weakness, it isn't fear. It is the quiet intelligence of the spirit calling you inward. During powerful inner shifts, a strange urge may rise within you, the desire to stay home, close the door, and be alone with your own breath. Many people misunderstand this feeling, assuming it means they are avoiding life. But in ancient traditions, especially within Shaolin practice, this pull toward solitude is understood as a return to the inner temple. When a monk feels the mind becoming crowded or the heart becoming heavy, he doesn't run outward searching for distractions. He withdraws. He sits, he listens, he allows the dust of the world to settle so that clarity can rise again. This instinct to stay indoors during a symbolic shift is the same. Your inner world is trying to realign itself, and it needs stillness, it needs space, it needs silence. There is a story often told in the temple. A student once asked why the masters would retreat for days during certain phases of the moon. The master replied, "Because the world moves differently, and the heart must hear its new rhythm." Retreat was not escape, it was preparation. In these moments, solitude becomes a powerful catalyst. It sharpens awareness, it slows the breath, it brings the mind back to a single point. When you remain within your own space, you can sense thoughts you usually ignore, emotions you usually bury, and truths you usually outrun. The urge to withdraw is not a sign that something is wrong, it is a sign that something within you is awakening. Staying indoors becomes a sacred act, a temporary sanctuary where transformation can unfold quietly without interruption. And when you return to the world, you do so clearer, calmer, and more grounded than before. There are moments in life when the mind grows quiet without being told to, and something within begins to speak with surprising clarity. During a moon shift, this inner voice becomes easier to hear, not because it suddenly appears, but because the noise around it finally settles. Intuition rises like a soft current beneath still water, subtle yet unmistakable once you learn to recognize its movement. In Shaolin tradition, intuition is not treated as mystery or magic. It is considered a natural intelligence of the body, sharpened through discipline, breath, and presence. When the external world feels tense or uncertain, the inner senses wake up to guide you back toward balance. You may feel a sudden pull toward a decision you've been delaying, or a quiet certainty about something you could not explain logically. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. As thoughts slow down, the space between them widens. In that space, truth becomes easier to distinguish from fear. The mind no longer rushes ahead of experience. It listens. It observes. It learns to trust what arises from stillness rather than what echoes from old habits. Shaolin awareness teaches that intuition grows strongest when the practitioner is deeply rooted in the present moment. You do not chase signs, omens, or symbols. You let them reveal themselves naturally. You do not force answers. You allow them to surface like breath rising from the lower belly, steady, calm, and unhurried. During this shift, the inner knowing may feel like a lantern, lighting a path you didn't realize was already in front of you. You might sense a direction, a change, or a truth that had been hidden beneath daily noise. Instead of doubting it, this is the time to practice trust, not blind belief, but clear, grounded confidence born from awareness. The more you listen, the more life begins to make quiet sense. A subtle shift often occurs when the mind, long bound by habit and repetition, begins to hesitate. Routines that once felt natural suddenly feel hollow, and familiar patterns appear strangely rigid. The daily motions that once guided every choice now feel like a cage, softly closing around awareness. In these moments, There is no chaos, only a quiet invitation to question, to pause, to see what has been taken for granted. Shaolin masters teach that the mind is a garden. When the same seeds are planted again and again, the soil hardens. Growth stagnates. A break in old mental patterns is like turning the soil, letting the light reach roots that have long been buried. These interruptions are not mistakes or misfortunes. They are subtle openings for freedom to enter. Awareness of them is the first step toward mastery. It begins with noticing. A thought arises, repetitive and stubborn, and instead of following it, the practitioner observes. A habitual reaction surfaces, yet it no longer compels immediate action. There is space now, a space where choice replaces reflex. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the mind cannot be forced into freedom, but it can be gently unbound through observation, patience, and discipline. Even the smallest decisions gain clarity in this space. A question about what has been consumed, physically, mentally, emotionally, becomes a doorway to deeper understanding. Attachments that were once unquestioned are examined with calm attention. What is necessary? What is heavy and unnecessary? What serves the path and what hinders it? Moments of disruption when old patterns fracture are sacred. They are the universe whispering through the mind, inviting a subtle shift in perspective. Those who honor this pause discover the essence of inner freedom, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet willingness to release, reflect, and embrace a mind unbound, open to the clarity that has been waiting all along. There is a quiet impulse that arises when the inner world stirs, a subtle nudge toward order and simplicity. Objects that once held little thought suddenly feel burdensome. Spaces that were overlooked now demand attention. This pull to declutter is not a matter of aesthetics, but a reflection of the inner landscape seeking alignment. When the mind and spirit shift, the outer world naturally follows. Shaolin philosophy teaches that excess clouds perception. A cluttered room mirrors a cluttered mind. Unnecessary possessions mirror unresolved attachments. In the discipline of the temple, simplicity is never trivial. Every movement, every object, every breath is intentional. Removing what is heavy, superfluous, or distracting is not merely physical work. It is a form of meditation, a cleansing of energy that allows clarity and focus to emerge. As this inner impulse grows stronger, it becomes a practice in awareness. Each object chosen to release is an opportunity to observe attachment, judgment, or resistance. Each cleared surface becomes a stage for presence and attention. Even the smallest act, folding, organizing, letting go, becomes an exercise in mastery. The mind learns to act with deliberation rather than reaction, cultivating a sense of ease that mirrors the simplicity of the outer world. This process is also symbolic. Releasing old possessions, habits, or mental clutter is a rehearsal for the greater art of letting go in life. Shaolin masters understand that the path to wisdom is lined with what we no longer need. The act of decluttering strengthens discipline, sharpens perception, and opens the space for new insight. When the pull to simplify becomes undeniable, it is wise to follow. Each item removed, each habit released, is a mirror of the inner purification already unfolding. Clarity does not arrive suddenly. It grows gradually, in quiet acts of intention. By clearing the excess, the practitioner does not merely organize a space, they prepare the mind to receive the subtle truths waiting in stillness. There are moments when time itself seems to bend, stretching and contracting in ways that feel both strange and familiar. A single breath can expand into eternity, while an hour can pass with the quiet weight of a lifetime. These shifts in perception are not illusions, they are invitations. They signal that the mind is awakening to a deeper rhythm, one that moves in harmony with presence rather than the clock. Shaolin practice teaches that the measure of a moment is not in its minutes, but in the attention given to it. When focus deepens, ordinary experiences transform. Walking becomes a meditation. Listening becomes an act of clarity. Even a simple gesture can reveal layers of intention and consequence. Time slows because the mind is no longer scattered. It is fully here, fully alive, fully attentive. This heightened awareness is more than observation. It is a doorway to mastery. Each passing moment carries information. The subtle rise and fall of breath, the gentle tug of thought, the unseen energy moving through the body. Those who cultivate presence learn to navigate life with precision and calm. Decisions are no longer rushed. Reactions are measured. Action flows naturally from observation, and stillness becomes a tool rather than a pause. The intensity of these moments can feel startling. A thought may linger longer than usual, a sound may echo with unusual clarity, or the world may appear suspended in a delicate balance. Rather than resisting, the disciplined mind leans into the experience. Shaolin teachings remind us that these fluctuations are opportunities to witness the impermanence and richness of now. To inhabit time fully is to inhabit life fully. In the stillness, between each tick and each breath, there is wisdom waiting to be seen. Awareness of time and presence transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, guiding the practitioner toward mastery, not over the world but over the mind itself. There is a subtle force that stirs within when profound shifts take place, sometimes gentle, sometimes turbulent. For some, it feels like a deep current of alignment, a quiet harmony between mind, body, and spirit. Every breath feels grounded, every thought aligned with purpose. The world seems to flow effortlessly, and even challenges carry a strange clarity. This is the mind recognizing its own rhythm, the body attuning to its own energy, the spirit responding to subtle shifts beyond ordinary perception. For others, the sensation is different. Restlessness may rise, emotions flare, and the ego resists what it cannot control. The mind questions, doubts, and clings to old certainties. Shaolin wisdom teaches that this agitation is not a failure. It is a natural part of transformation. The resistance itself is a teacher, revealing where attachments remain, where fear hides, and where discipline has yet to deepen. In both states, alignment or resistance, the path remains the same. The breath, with each inhalation, the mind finds steadiness. With each exhalation, tension loosens. Shaolin practice emphasizes that mastery is not the absence of resistance, but the presence of calm within it. By centering breath by breath, one cultivates a resilient awareness that neither clings to comfort nor recoils from discomfort. This inner work is subtle yet profound. Alignment deepens the understanding of self, resistance illuminates its boundaries. Both are mirrors reflecting the inner state. The practitioner learns to observe without judgment, to move with clarity, and to act with precision. Powerful transformation arises quietly in these moments of inner attunement. The body remains poised, the mind attentive, the spirit awake. Whether harmony or friction dominates, the key is presence, the steady anchor in the ever-shifting currents of consciousness. Mastery is not found in avoidance, but in the calm persistence of returning to center, breath after breath. There are days when the outer world feels unusually heavy, when the pull of distraction and noise seems stronger than usual. On such days, the greatest act of strength is not movement, but stillness. Staying home, in this sense, is not merely a physical choice. It is a spiritual one. It is a commitment to preserve the integrity of your energy, to focus it inward rather than scatter it across endless tasks and external demands. Shaolin teachings speak of the body as a vessel and the mind as a temple. When energy is dispersed outward recklessly, clarity diminishes and the subtle currents of awareness become muddied. Remaining home is a practice in grounding. It allows the mind to settle, the emotions to harmonize, and the spirit to attune to the deeper rhythms of change. Even small routines, breathing, sitting in stillness, mindful movement, become powerful anchors that stabilize consciousness. On symbolic days of inner shifting, wandering outward can dilute the impact of transformation. Every thought, every step, every glance directed outward carries a fragment of focus. The inner work, heightened intuition, emotional purification, and mental realignment requires a concentrated field of attention. By consciously staying within, you create a sanctuary where subtle shifts can be felt, integrated, and embodied. This inward retreat is not avoidance, it is discipline. It is strength cultivated quietly, deliberately, like the Shaolin monk who moves with measured intention through the day. The home becomes a training ground for presence, a place where awareness deepens without interruption. Those who honor this practice discover that the world does not need to be avoided. It only requires patience and preparation. Energy gathered and focused within today becomes action with clarity tomorrow. In stillness, in grounded presence, the practitioner finds not confinement, but the freedom to grow, transform, and emerge aligned with the subtle currents of life. November 16th, 2025, arrives not as a force to provoke fear, but as a subtle call to presence. The day carries a quiet intensity, a kind of energy that asks for attention, yet rewards those who meet it with stillness. It is not about avoiding the world, but about stepping back long enough to feel the currents moving within. In this pause, awareness deepens, and the ordinary takes on the texture of the profound. Shaolin teachings remind us that every moment is a mirror. Outer events reflect inner states. When the mind is scattered, life feels chaotic. When the mind is steady, even shifts of great magnitude are met with clarity. November 16th is a mirror, showing what has been cultivated and what remains unexamined. The subtle disturbances, heightened emotions, or urges toward retreat are not threats, they are signals. They reveal where alignment has been achieved and where the mind still clings to old patterns. This day is an opportunity to realign, to refine the connection between intention and action. A disciplined practice, whether in mindful breathing, reflection, or gentle movement, creates a resonance with the deeper rhythms of life. Thoughts become clearer, choices become more deliberate, and the path forward is seen with a quiet sharpness. The clarity gained is not sudden. It grows through patient observation, conscious attention, and disciplined presence. Even small gestures carry significance. Pausing before speaking, noticing the body, observing the flow of thought, these acts become the tools of mastery. November 16th, 2025 is less a calendar date than a doorway. By honoring it with mindfulness, one cultivates a foundation that carries forward beyond the day. Inner mastery becomes tangible, not as an abstract goal, but as a lived experience, moment by moment. In embracing this day fully, the practitioner steps into alignment, ready to move through life with calm precision and quiet strength. As we have explored, the 8 strange things that may appear on November 16th are not signs of danger, but reflections of the inner shifts quietly unfolding within. Each sensation, each impulse is an invitation to pause, observe, and cultivate clarity. Through the wisdom of Shaolin practice, stillness, emotional awareness, intuition, simplicity, and mindful presence, we learn to move through these moments with calm and discernment. This day reminds us that true strength is not found in resisting change, but in aligning with it. By grounding yourself in awareness, tending to your breath, and honoring your inner landscape, you turn uncertainty into opportunity and chaos into clarity. These practices are not reserved for special occasions, they are tools you can carry into every day, guiding your decisions, deepening your focus, and expanding your sense of inner freedom. Take these lessons into your daily life. Notice when your mind is restless or your emotions rise, and meet each moment with mindful attention. Simplify where you can, trust your intuition, and allow your presence to grow stronger, quiet by quiet. Thank you for joining us on this journey of inner exploration. May November 16th be a day of calm, insight, transformation, and alignment for you. If this message resonated, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel Shaolin Soulfire so that together we can continue to explore the path of mastery, awareness, and mindful living. Peace and clarity be with you.